The best way I can show up for my nieces is being my authentic self and showing them how to center themselves. Because at every turn, patriarchy is going to teach them that marriage and babies is the number one job. That's what they're here to do. So at every turn, I'm here to reinforce the opposite message that do what you want, do what's best for you. And I've been doing that since they were born. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't spend time with them. Go back and watch this video for context, and thank you so much for this comment. I spent this first several years of their lives putting in as much time as I could. I spent a fortune, like pretty much all of my spare money, which it wasn't even spare. I should have been paying off debt. Flying across the country, flying to go see them, you know? And what I didn't realize until like my sister flat out told me was that kids, you know, like time, that is how you get close to them. And that you got to do that early on, right? Because yeah, when they become teenagers, they don't care about you. Or if they care about you, it's because you've already put that time in and you've really shown from as soon as you could, hopefully since they were born, that you really care about them, right? And so that's what I did. And in fact, I taught my husband that because he wasn't really putting in as much effort with his nephew because he, like me, didn't realize how to build relationships with kids. Neither one of us have ever wanted to be parents. Even though I taught kids, I've never been an aunt until I became an aunt. So I did put in the time in the beginning, thousands and thousands of dollars, even though I was waiting tables, serving barbecue, you know, living in LA, paying LA rent. I still was flying back and just showed up for those birthday parties, showed up, you know, did bedtime when I was with them. Because, you know, my sister's right. Like a lot of dads, they think that they could just miss out on childhood. And then one day when they're done having fun, they can just enter their kids' lives. And the kids are going to be like, oh my God, yay, you're finally here. No, most kids are like, you know what? Bork you. Where were you? Where were you, dude? So me and my husband both, we invest a lot of time in our nieces and our nephew because we want to be those people that they come to when they maybe don't feel comfortable going to their parents. Or just I send my nieces videos and pictures and stuff, even though I don't get to spend as much time with them now. I spend all of this energy and effort letting them know that I think about them a lot. Every cool place I go, oh look, I'm at this beach, you guys, I love you so much, I miss you so much, oh I heard about the play that you're in, blah blah blah, right? And they came to visit me in France, when they came and saw like my life here because they couldn't come to our wedding because of COVID. They came and they saw my office and they saw photos of themselves all over my office and they're like, oh my God, there I am. And I was like, yeah, I think about you all the time, every day, several times a day. I look at you and I think, oh, I love them. The look on their face, y'all, kids just want to be special. But what it doesn't mean is giving up your whole life so that you can be on standby. This is the trap that I think a lot of aunts, like child-free women, fall into. And that's where, like, this video that this is attached to is how I finally had to make this hard decision to follow my gut and go and do what I need to do for myself, because I was just kind of on standby waiting to hang out with my family, you know, and how a lot of times, especially like they just don't have time to hang out with other people. They're just barely getting by. They're so busy, especially in the US. They all are doing like dance and sports and blah, like they're just, the US is a terrible place to raise children. Terrible. No support for the families or for the parents. Too much pressure. It's too much. I mean, even motherhood is competitive. Like everything is competitive, but parenting is competitive, especially motherhood. You know, the purity culture, like, oh, mother, we worship mothers, but also take a big dump on them all the time and blame them for everything. But one thing that I'm so proud of myself is that over the years, they've always been like, where's your boyfriend? Who's your boyfriend? I was like, I don't have one. I'm having too much fun to have a boyfriend. You know, like it wasn't until, I met my husband, they really even see me with a man. They know me as single Aunt Melanie, who's always doing cool stuff and sending them photos and videos of all the places she's going. Right? This is me, Aunt Traveling Melanie from Fraggle Rock. So whenever I do hang out with them, I'm like, it's exhausting, y'all. It's exhausting being an aunt. I could not keep up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of like, hey guys. And again, just like I think most kids who are raised with two parents, they become really obsessed with marriage, you know? Little girls, especially because of the way they're just taught in society, they're obsessed with it. So every opportunity I was like, no, I'm not getting married. Or if I probably won't, I have no interest in it. I'm just doing what I want to do every time I can. Oh, look at the shadow of my phone on me. Oh, look at this light, y'all. Oh, I'm beaching. So, but now that I am married, another thing that I'm doing is showing them an example of what it's like to be child-free, even if you're with a partner. They need to see that. All of their friends have parents. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they know any adults that don't have kids, right? All the adults in their lives are their teachers, and they don't really know usually if they're what their teachers have or don't have. They don't know the relationship status of their teachers. Their grandparents obviously had children. Their parents obviously had children. So when me and my husband went to visit, the oldest niece was like, wow, you guys just like have fun. And we were like, I was like, yeah, we didn't want to have kids. Why would we have kids when we have y'all? If we had kids, because they always like, give us cousins, we want cousins. And I'm like, no, if you have cousins, you'll never see me again because it'll be exhausting being a parent. So instead, you get us all to yourself and we just get to do whatever we want in the meantime. And they're like, wow. I really think that the best way you can be a positive change in the world is to be true to yourself. Because when you're true to yourself, you're not bitter. I mean, everyone goes through hardship, and obviously a lot of people have way more hardship than I ever will. But if I can role model constantly doing what my gut tells me to do instead of what society tells me to do, or what I think my mom or my family or my dad who's dead, or all these things in my voices in my head that I think other people want me to do, those people may not have even told me to do. I just assume that that's what I think they want me to do. The more that I can ignore all that and really center myself, and again, I've told you, my husband every day is like, center yourself, babe. How do you feel? What do you need? Forget about me. Forget about them. Every day he has to remind me because I forget. So I'm here to remind them every day. Stop listening to the voices in your head that you didn't even put there. Get in touch with your intuition. That's your superpower. What is it you need? What is it you truly want to do? Because when you live in those principles, you're going to be able to show up for your community and other people and your relationships anyway. But we've just been taught to martyr ourselves. And it's not just moms who martyr themselves, right? Maybe they do it the most, but then all women are supposed to just put aside everything we want to support. And then the kids grow up or they move away, and then you're like, wow, what was all that for? I don't even like where I live. I don't even like what I'm doing. I was just on standby because I don't have my own family. So 40 years old, I moved away. That was a really hard decision, but I'm living my best life, y'all. Role modeling what it means to be in charge of your own life instead of living for others. And I also was there for key moments. I taught my niece how to ride a bike. She will never forget that. I taught my niece how to climb. She will never forget that. And she tells me every time she goes, she's like, Aunt Melanie, I went climbing. And now I'm teaching both of them how much creativity is important in your life by role modeling that. I hope to God they don't find this TikTok. If they ever see my content, they're going to be like, whoa. Maybe when they're teenagers, but not now. And whenever I talk about being child-free or how much my mentors meant to me and how much I try to mentor others, someone left this comment and it just hit me right here. This is an example of how some people are here to help other adults parent themselves versus parenting and raising children. Being a storyteller, being a writer, and being an aunt. That's how I hope I'm making my impact in the world. Because what the world doesn't need is a lot of women dying of regret because they let men hijack their whole lives. They did what everyone else wanted them to do and never even got to know themselves. That to me is the biggest tragedy, when you don't even get to know yourself.